being pretty damn honest, the Red Sox win it 12-9. They'll take on the Twins tonight at Comerica Park. We did say we were going to try to say something positive about the Tigers each and every day, right?
Yes.
Okay. How about this? Everybody who got in the bag got a hit except for two players.
Yeah,
Victor Reyes and Akil Bunch. Line up doing a combined.
yeah, Akil did not get run. But
betting 192.
yes. I will say this. I'll give you my one positive for Soto, all right? And I'll give it to you on that play that caused the error. A lot of times when you're in a streak like this, guys are pushing so hard to make a play that they go outside of their role, their responsibility. And I think Soto, and we know that these guys are competitors. You don't get to that level without being a competitor and having that drive and knowing that you don't want to lose another game. He wanted to make a play. He wanted to be the guy that was able to win a game for the Detroit Tigers. And so I got to give it to him for this. Not a great decision, but I will say this, that they continue to, we see it not every night, but most nights where they haven't given up.
All right, if you're going to play Mr. Mixed Bag, I'll give you a mixed bag. Down on the farm, West Michigan finally won their first game yesterday.
They did.
They won 6-3. But the guys that you've heard of, okay, maybe the top 5 prospects in Erie, in West Michigan this season, Meadows, his batting average this season, 3 games, it's 0-0-0. Cruz, 0-9-1. Torch, 0 for 5 last night with 3 strikeouts. He's batting 0-83. Daniel Cabrera, 0 for 4, hitting 0-91. And one bright spot, played DH last night with the catcher from Ohio State, Dylan Dingler, made another home run yesterday. He's one of the batting 343.
Yeah.
He's looked pretty good. Look, it's 3 games, 8 ball.
Yes.
So
But
any judgments? Yeah, you used the word finally. Yeah, 3 games. But finally won a game.
Yes.
Okay, there's West Michigan. The Lions made it official yesterday. Kerryon Johnson. They didn't talk about that yesterday. I'm sure they'll find somebody else who will make the team. Obviously, from an unsigned free agent. Obviously, the 7th round pick Jefferson will probably make the team with a practice squad. He'll make the team. And there'll be a veteran that's like, wow, that guy got good.
yeah.
So, we'll come back Adrian Peterson.
You know what? As long as it doesn't take reps away from DeAndre Swift.
I mean, he was a good influence, but I think he wants to do the team.
Yes. He's waiting for two.
Yes. Frank Ragnow, ladies and gentlemen, as expected, has signed a contract extension, a 4-year extension, making him the highest paid center in the history of the National Football League. He'll be making $13.5 million a year. You can do the math there, but I will tell you that $42 million of that is guaranteed. So, do a little math here, not with the money, but you got Decker signed for quite a few years.
Yep.
You got now Ragnow signed through 2026, I believe.
Yep.
You have your rookie, Sewell, who's going to be on a rookie contract that could be probably 5 years, correct?
It's 5 years, yeah. If he's as advertised, he'll be extended before that. But
Jonah Jackson is playing on a rookie contract. So he has
Yes.
a few years left. I mean, pretty.
Vaitai in the second year of a 5-year, $50 million deal.
Yeah, but his cap hit after this year is negligible. So they can, if he doesn't, man, who knows? Maybe he can play well as a guard. I will count on it. But maybe, so he's gone after this year. Maybe Sternberg,
Yeah.
the guy from Kentucky, known for his nastiness. Maybe he'll turn into a player and he'll play the right guard situation.
Yes.
And there'll be veterans too. If you want to get some depth, maybe you can bring back Kenny Wiggins.
It's possible. But, my expectations for this offensive line, especially, and I'm going to throw Vaitai in here. When you look at what Jonah Jackson did last year, I think it's a great example to look at. He's a 4th-round pick, started 16 games. Nobody really believed that when he was drafted that he was going to be penciled in as the starter.
Right.
He earned that right, and he was able to do it because he was between offensive line play yet. If that happens, what I just talked about, I think you're looking at a top 5 offensive line in the league.
Yes, for the next 5 years,
Exactly.
if not longer.
You better not be looking at it. It better be.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and that's, but again, that's making sure that Penny Sewell is as advertised, and I think he is. I'm not saying he's not, or I think that's a good bet to make, and that Vaitai, even if it's just this year, will play at a better level because he will be in better position. Whether it's, passing off double teams, passing off twists, that he will be in a better position to be successful because now he's got really good players on both sides.
Absolutely. Yesterday, actually, Jared Goff had a little press briefing, and they asked him about the Lions' first-round draft choice, Penny Sewell.
Yeah, fired up. So was the staff was fired up, and so was I, obviously, as a quarterback. Anytime you get help up front, it's always good. But yeah, we got a lot of solid guys up there right now, and I think it's shaping up to hopefully be one of the top groups in the league. There's obviously a lot of work to do, and I know they know that, but there's a lot of good players up there right now, and as a quarterback, that's your best friend, so I'm excited for it.
And especially, he's not the most mobile guy in the world, so yeah, good
Yeah.
offensive line, play action is his strength. Good luck, believe me. I have no idea how many games. They're still probably not going to be a very good team, but I'm not looking so much for next year down the line, especially with this offensive line.
Yes, down the line, I think it's going to be great, and this year it gives him a chance because.
He said great. Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yes, absolutely. That's my expectation.
I know.
And I think this year, what you're going to see at times, especially early, because these 5 guys will be playing together for the first time. Penny Sewell is a rookie. You're going to have some ups and downs. You're going to have some games, probably, depending on if we even have a preseason, where you look and you say, that's not what we're paying for.
Right.
There's going to be some growing pains because Jonah Jackson is still only going into his second year.
The other thing about the offensive line, and you would know better than me, and I don't want to minimize it, and obviously you probably won't either, but their offensive line coach is Hank Fraley, who, if I'm not mistaken, when the whole regime change occurred, he had opportunities. I believe he interviewed at Pittsburgh or at least one other top-notch place. Yeah, and the Lions thought it was important enough, and Ragnow and I think Decker let Brad Holmes and whoever know, whether it's Campbell or not, that Hank Fraley is their guy, and they made sure that they signed Hank Fraley. And John, you, like I said, you play the position. Everybody always says the thing about the offensive line, if you have consistency there year to year to year, that's what develops these great offensive lines. And if you have the same coach, if he's good, an offensive line coach, and the same players, that's how you build this thing.
And consistency, performance, all that stuff, and camaraderie. And you look and you say, okay, Frank Ragnow, we've seen him out and about a little bit in terms of, he's a personable guy, a guy that you'd want to have as a teammate. Same with Taylor Decker. Now all of a sudden you throw a young player in there, but you have a coach in Hank Fraley who I've known for 15 years, and he is a likable guy, and he's not trying to be their friend, but it's different than a college coach is, because these are all supposed to be professionals. He is a guy that I think players would really like to play for. The camaraderie in that room is going to be one where, yes, you're going to have great moments in that room, great moments on the field, but it's building that camaraderie outside of football that I think is really important for an offensive line. We talk about the 5 o'clock club all the time.
Right.
That is one of the things that I look to in regards to. Russ Grimm was my first offensive line coach. I loved playing for him because he was a former player. He understood the ups and downs of a season, but also the pressure on an offensive line, and Hank Fraley is cut from the same cloth.
And Russ Grimm was also a veteran of the 5 o'clock club.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he could pound them.
With the best of them.
Yes.
A lot of lessons learned from Russ.
Yeah, the Hogs, when I was there, I mean, I know Joe Jacoby.
Big Jake.
Met his wife, who worked at our establishment where my roommate was a disc jockey. I mean, yeah, those days, those guys could pound them.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, and still can.
Yes. Our telephone number is 248-539-9797. The latest on Aaron Rodgers. What side are you on? Player or management? 97.1.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic. From the WWJ AMI 50 Traffic Center. Another smooth drive this morning. The roads are problem-free and things look pretty good in most work zones. Construction will continue today out on M59 Highland Road, both directions from US 23 to Tipsico Lake Road. Moving work crews blocking one lane between 9 and 3. And also road work is scheduled until 4 o'clock, leaving one lane open 94 eastbound from Rossonville Road to 275. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
The Detroit Pistons play the Philadelphia 76ers. Pre-game tomorrow night at 6:35 on 104.3 WOMC. It's hard to believe, but those hot summer days are almost here. But I want you to think about a better way to go through them. Imagine being able to set your thermostat at 72 and your home stays cool. And that's every room on every floor. Imagine not tossing and turning all night because you're so hot. Imagine your AC unit not having to run 24/7. Imagine walking inside to a blast of cool, refreshing air. And imagine not having a sky-high electric bill. Just because your home is older doesn't mean you can't have this kind of comfort. You just need better insulation. You need USA Premium Injection Foam. Their foam keeps your expensive cool air in and the hot air out. And the best part is, it pays for itself with your energy savings. And right now, you can get a $500 early bird discount, plus up to a $500 tax credit on whole home installation. That's a savings of $1,000. Call now, 1-800-USA-FOAM. That's 1-800-USA-FOAM or usainsulation.net. USA Insulation.
This Odyssey.com Sports Minute is brought to you by Paulson's Audio and Video.
This is Boomer Esiason with an Odyssey Sports Minute. It's no secret that I hate baseball's defensive shift, so I do tip my cap to Gleyber Torres, even though he's a damn Yankee, for demonstrating against the Houston Astros how the shift is vulnerable. In the bottom of the sixth inning yesterday, Torres was on first when teammate Aaron Hicks lined a smash to the right side of second base. Shortstop Carlos Correa, positioned on the first base side of second, made a nice diving play to knock it down on the edge of the outfield grass. Third baseman Alex Bregman, who had shifted into the shortstop hole, had come over to cover second for a possible force. Seeing third base uncovered, Torres never stopped running. Belatedly, catcher Michael Maldonado hustled to try and cover third. However, that left home plate uncovered, and Torres easily scored from first on a ball that never left the infield. Now that's how you beat the shift. I'm Boomer Esiason.
Sorry to interrupt your jams, murder mystery podcasts, or motivational beach noises, but we got something else you might like to hear. It's called cash. That's the sound of an extra $250 after your first 10 deliveries with Uber Eats. That's right, an extra $250 on top of all the other cash you'll make during those first 10 deliveries. If that sounds good, visit t.uber.com/extra250. Uber Eats, deliver with us. Limited time offer, terms apply. See t.uber.com/extra250 for more details.
Do you hear My Computer Career ads and think, I don't know anything about computers? Well, you don't have to. Before starting, many graduates could turn a computer on and off. And that's it. Now they're IT pros. You can do it too. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new life in as little as 4 months. Grants covering up to 53% of the cost are available to those who qualify. It's not rocket science. It's My Computer Career.
Is your organization prepared for the next phase of remote work? Can your employees easily collaborate, whether they are in the office or working from home? Keeping your employees and customers connected is critical to your success. Turn to the experts at CBTS to implement and support a secure communications platform. Access robust features like voice, contact center, and collaboration tools. CBTS was recently named the leader for providing hosted communication solutions by leading industry analyst Frost & Sullivan. Learn more at cbts.com or call our local office at 248-654-3600.
It's fun to get a little extra.
You're getting a bonus.
A surprise you didn't expect. A free toy inside? Yes! Something anyone would love.
First class.
Well, Xfinity gives you something extra too. Internet that comes with a free Flex 4K streaming box, giving you access to your favorite apps, even Disney Plus. That's a win-win. Champagne for your flight.
Yes, please.
Entertainment that starts free. Can your internet do that?
Get started with Xfinity Internet for $25 a month for 12 months with a 1-year agreement. Now with double the speed included. Plus, add a Flex 4K streaming box at no extra cost. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless bill auto pay. That's 5/20/21. Restrictions apply. New performance starter 50 megabits per second internet customers only.
left it behind him. Terrible pass. Sekou with the intercept and dunk. And there's the final dagger. 108 to 97.
Dagger time. Good dagger the Pistons in the lottery lose. They win. They beat the Grizzlies 111-97. I do not fault the Pistons players at all. Maybe Ellington and Joseph shouldn't have been playing. But Killian Hayes was sick, and it had something to do with it. Look, they didn't play Jeremy Grant. They didn't play Diallo. They played 35 the other night. They have to play somebody. But it's more Memphis playing that dog. 111-97. Pistons played Ellington and Joseph 18 each. So they hadn't played in 2 weeks. So give them credit for their performance. Pistons will take on Philly in Philly, the last road game of the season. Hopefully Embiid will play. Tigers lose to the Red Sox 12-9 in an awful game. They take on the Minnesota Twins tonight. They return home with a friendly confines at Park Park, and maybe, just maybe, day off, Boston, maybe, maybe grasping at straws here, come back.
Maybe just needed a rest. Hit the reset.
Hit the ball a few times. We have some ticket text on our Frank Ragnow conversation.
Yeah.
And it's just very typical. I understand it. It's great that they signed Ragnow, but why didn't they wait a year to sign him? Well,
If I understand it right, now I haven't seen the entire contract. It's an extension.
correct.
So it's added on to the 2 that he currently has. Well, the 1.
Right.
Because
Yes.
the option.
So what? See, on some players, like I remember Stafford's last extension, I was sitting there. Let's see how he plays before you get an extension. But when a guy makes the Pro Bowl and he's a young player, you'd rather get it done now.
Well, and here's the other thing, too. We've got 2 first-round picks next year.
Right.
When you don't want to be doing a new contract for what you think is this is his second, and he's probably going to get a third, stays healthy, continues to play the way he is. You don't want to have to redo his contract along with those 2 rookies at that time, along with the year after that, another 2 first-round picks.
Right, and this is, to me, it's a no-brainer, it's a great move. Unless all of a sudden Frank Ragnow all of a sudden, can't play anymore.
Right, which is not going to happen.
No, he keeps getting better and better.
Business time.
There you go. Lions, good O-line, but who are they blocking for? Jared, come on, SOL.
How about DeAndre Smith?
Great. A top 5 O-line with no quarterback, no running back, and no wide receivers. Woo, 5-11, here we come. First of all, it would be 5-12 or 6-11. They're playing 17 games. And this is not about this season.
No.
I don't know how many times and it's not just our show, it's Carson Anderson, it's Mike Enrico. This is not about all of a sudden we got Jared Goff and, we're re-upping Ragnow, we got Penny Sewell. This is for the playoff push for this year. No, this is about building a foundation. And your foundation is the offensive line, and that's good. Lions, they can block now. Okay, we still can't run or pass nor kick field goals in it. Like we said, it's not about now.
You got to start putting pieces together.
Right.
These are foundational pieces. And your offensive lineman, I know that the average NFL career is just over 3 years. The average NFL career of an offensive lineman is a bit longer than that. Mm-hmm. So you're putting together the pieces to now keep building upon that. Find a receiver. We all know that you couldn't go into this draft and solve all the Lions' problems.
Right. Now, there's a possibility. There's a possibility that Jared Goff, going into this season, could be the best quarterback in the division. He could be the only one who's started a Super Bowl, or probably even played in a Super Bowl. And that's because of Aaron Rodgers. And I don't know what's going to happen. First of all, if you're the Packers, you don't do anything. If you're going to move them, go after June 1st.
Right.
Because you'll save cap money. So nothing should happen in the next month.
Right.
Or 3.5 weeks, whatever.
And just so everybody understands, you mentioned that Jared Goff could be the best quarterback in the division. This is how it looks right now. Andy Dalton in Chicago, or possibly rookie Justin Fields
Right.
at some point.
Yes.
Kirk Cousins in Minnesota, and Jordan Love in Green Bay if Aaron Rodgers decides to retire, they trade him, whatever they do with him, those are your 4 quarterbacks in this division.
Right.
It changes things.
If Rodgers out of the equation, I think the division's up for grabs.
I know that all.
Starting route to 1325 Champagne
I
Road.
think going into the season, I think that's the no-brainer to me.
In 1.1 miles, turn left
Because
onto West
he's
14
just
Mile Road.
he's more veteran. He's had more, going on. I mean, and they have a better running game.
I don't
obviously
think- yeah.
Justin Jefferson at receiver.
I like Mike Zimmer as a coach. I do. I think he's a good head coach. I'm not quite sure Cousins is any better than Goff.
No.
We can leave it at that. Let me tell you something here. Something interesting is happening in Vegas just in the last 48 hours. The Lions were 25 to 1 to win the North on Wednesday. It's 20.
And
A 20% drop in 48 hours.
And if I'm not mistaken, Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, because I thought I saw this yesterday in one of the shows before I took a nap. The Packers, you can't even bet them to win the
Well, they're showing odds
division.
for them at 4 to 5 on Vegas.
At the next light,
Okay, because I
turn
heard they took
left.
them off the board. As far as
But the other two teams, the Bears and Vikings, are only 3 to 1 now. So it's just that Vegas is very scared to get burned.
Yeah, but I hope the Lions. Let's for our this is G's here. If Rodgers does get traded or doesn't show up or whatever, and we agree that the Lions have a chance now in this division. I don't want their long-term goals to
At
be
the light,
clouded
turn
by
left
a
onto West
Green
14
Bay
Mile Road.
feud
Then
between
turn
Aaron
right onto
Rodgers and
Inkster
the
Road.
management.
Oh, no.
The goal is still to build. Wins on the way would be okay.
I agree, but this speculation that all these mock drafts have of the Lions picking 1 or 2, I think that is flat out dumb.
I
I think
agree.
they're headed for 7 wins at least. I do.
And Stoney, to your point about staying the course, we played audio from John Dorsey about not making sure that you don't get off course, that you don't
Right.
go for that that pretty toy that all of a sudden, hey, maybe it's great for the fans or something to get behind, but there is a 5-year plan. We clearly see the 5-year plan. They're going to build offensive and defensive lines. They gave they went out and got Jared Goff because it came along with 2 first-round picks.
At the stop sign,
You can
turn
see
right onto Inkster
that
Road.
there is a 5-year plan, and just because Aaron Rodgers isn't or might not be in Green Bay, it's just the same as if you were to say, okay, Minnesota, right? Going into this season, they're the leaders. We all know everybody is 1 injury away from
In
having
1.4 miles,
a
turn right
season
onto
of
Northwestern
13
Highway.
wins or possibly 3 wins.
Yeah.
If Kirk Cousins were to get hurt because he's going to have a rookie left tackle in Christian Darrisaw, his backups, Kellen Mond from obviously Texas A&M, we talked about him, Nate Stanley from Iowa, and then Jake Browning. I mean, you're a hit away from changing the course of that organization.
Yeah, I mean the Lions are a hit away from Tim Boyle.
Right,
Or
exactly. Yeah,
David
the
Blau.
Green Bay legend.
I know.
So, but that's the thin line that you walk in quarterback situations right now, especially in this division.
Yes, indeed. Our telephone number is 248-539-9797. You mentioned Kellen Mond from Texas A&M. His college coach went out on the limb yesterday and got a response. Pretty interesting as well. 97.1.
WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. An Odyssey station. Sports headlines. All day, every day. From the Sold by Mike Z Sports Desk. This is 97.1. The Ticket.
This update is sponsored by Hall Financial. Let's open with the NFL as the Lions make Frank Ragnow the highest paid center in the NFL as the 2 sides agreed to a 4-year contract extension yesterday that's worth a reported $54 million. That deal will keep Ragnow with the Lions through the end of the 2026 season. It's a different story, however, for another member of the Lions' 2018 draft class, as running back Kerryon Johnson was released by team officials yesterday. The Pistons close out a 3-game homestand last night with a 111-97 win over the Memphis Grizzlies, a victory that ends a 4-game losing skid for head coach Dwayne Casey and the Pistons.
Well, we needed it. We were teetering. Guys kind of hanging their head, losing confidence a little bit. We understand that we're building and rebuilding and that, but you got to compete to win each and
At
every
the next
night.
light,
Andy Martinez
turn
and
right.
Rafael Devers would combine to drive in 5 runs yesterday as they lead the Boston Red Sox to a 12-9 victory over the Tigers. And their own worst enemies in this one, as Tigers fielders committed 4 errors that would lead to 7 unearned runs for Boston. Phil Mickelson Matheson's score of 7 under par 64 gives him a 2-shot lead on the field as second-round play begins later today at the PGA Tour's Valspar Championship. After a 4-day break in the schedule, the Red Wings are back in game action tonight as they skate against the Columbus Blue Jackets. You can hear that game over on AM 950 beginning at 6:45. From the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Tony Ortiz. For more, stay
At the
tuned to
light, turn right
97.1
onto
The Ticket
Northwestern
and
Highway.
us.com.
Live from the Jamie Samuelson Studio, Stoney and Jansen on 97.1 The Ticket.
Good morning, everyone, and for all you mothers out there, have a wonderful Mother's Day on Sunday.
Yes. Weather might be not great. Yeah, no, not great today or maybe even tomorrow, but on Mother's Day, we're just pulling for a lot of sunshine.
Yeah, it would be nice.
Yes.
Mom, I'm sure she wants to go watch the Tigers. Take
the Comerica. Yeah. No, but happy Mother's Day, Mom.
And I don't know if she's listening on her way to there.
Big U-turn.
Her daughter, my niece, but my sister turns 60 over the weekend. So
Oh yeah.
I probably shouldn't have said her age, but what the hell? You know,
It's a landmark.
yes, it is. So happy birthday, Lisa.
Special
Love you.
surprise Saturday night, Stoney?
No. Yeah, unbelievable.
Wait a second here.
You never heard the whole I slept in the same bed with your sister?
Oh, I did. Yeah. So I guess I was hoping
In
that was.
6.2 miles,
Yes.
take exit 14C onto M39 and Southfield Freeway.
Exactly.
Yes.
All right, 248-539-9797 is our telephone number. Let's go to Clayton in Ann Arbor here on 97.1 The Ticket. What's up, Clayton?
Hey, how's it going?
Good morning.
Good morning. I think it's a pipe dream that you think Rodgers isn't going to play for the Packers for the next 4 years. I mean, it's still his division easily. I mean, you're talking about Kirk Cousins and Fields and, Goff and then maybe Jordan Love. It's Rodgers' division easy for the next 4 years.
I would agree with you if he's going to be there, but we all know he's a unique individual. And
If you're asking us to bet whether he's going to be a Packer, I would bet he will be.
yes,
But there's a possibility that it's not going to be repairable. That's all we're saying. Is if he doesn't.
Totally understand, and I agree. He's a drama king. We all know it. But as a Packer fan, I mean, there's no way that. Here's what I think about it as: you have a general manager and you have a quarterback. One of them is irreplaceable for the next 4 years. What are you going to do then? I mean, you replace the replaceable one.
well, but here's the argument that you make is that's 4 years. They're going to play football in Green Bay past 4 years. Do you want a GM that has grown up through the system and learned from some of the best to just be thrown away because your quarterback right now doesn't like him or can't work with him?
Fair point. I mean, but it's good learning from the best. I don't know. I mean, it's Rodgers.
They've had a lot of success.
To come through Green Bay,
Well, is the success the system
Stay in the
Green Bay,
left
or is the success Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers? That's the question. But yeah,
it's a great question. That's a great question.
are you a Packer? Clayton, are you a Packer fan?
Oh, diehard, yeah. I mean, it's rare that you have
Okay, so was asked about at a Houston touchdown
2
club
miles.
meeting
Take
the other
exit
day.
14C
He was
onto
asked about
M39 and
playing
Southfield
Alabama because
Freeway.
they do play in College Station this year. And here's his quote. He says, "We're going to beat his ass when he's there. Don't worry." Fisher was asked about what it's going to take to beat Alabama.
Yes. Yeah, the Aggie.
Outside of Nick Saban retiring.
The Aggie touchdown club when he's there to pump up the supporters.
Yes.
And so there's some context, but he still said it, and he knew it was going to be a sound.
Right, and it was. And he kind of knew that somebody, once they found Coach Saban, somebody would ask him about it. And yes, indeed, somebody found Coach Saban, and here's his response.
I was going to ask, your friend Jimbo said yesterday, some point when your hustler said he was going to beat your butt. That wasn't the word that he used, but did you have any response for that?
In golf?
I think you meant on the football field.
Well, I'm sure there'll come a day, but is that what you're talking about? Football?
So he was talking, he was talking about
I used to be on my noontime basketball league, I guess. We're no longer partners, come to that.
So they're friends.
Stay in the second lane.
But I thought, what a great response.
In golf?
Yeah. And we were talking during the break. Saban is one of those guys that, the way he left Michigan State, obviously some Spartan fans
Use the right 2 lanes
pissed
to
off.
take exit
And
14C onto
someone pissed off. I think it
M39
was
and Southfield
McPherson was the
Freeway.
president at the time that all of a sudden, I remember we interviewed Plexico Barris and, 2 days he's here and then I'm not going anywhere. The next thing you know, he's on a plane to Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
But he was one of those guys, you're just he went from Michigan State to LSU to the Dolphins, and then, he was always in that guy you just didn't like.
Yeah, you actually kind of love to hate him.
Yeah. Now, as he's gotten older, maybe as I've gotten older, I kind of like Nick Saban a little bit. I almost feel guilty saying it.
It's very hard to admit it publicly. It almost feels like a confessional.
For 16 miles,
You want to
continue
tell
straight.
somebody, but you don't want anybody else to hear it. And I mentioned this to you guys a while ago. There is a documentary that he did with Bill Belichick. I think it's called The Art of Coaching. And I watched it, and I ended up, and Bill Belichick is not one that I would put on my like list either. And I came away with, first of all, those guys are great friends, but watching them interact with their teammates or their team, I really came away with a different opinion. And watching Nick Saban walk around practice and talk to his players, address his players, interact with them, there's a lot of similarities to some great coaches that I've played for, namely Lloyd Carr.
I thought it told me Steve Spurrier.
I want this to be a positive segment. And so it is hard to admit it because so many people like to hate him, especially when you pile on the championships that he was won, whether it's at LSU, now multiple ones.
And they only get players because they give them a bigger bag than the other schools, right?
You know what? It's and I believe that.
That's what people think. There's people that believe that.
I wanted to believe that for some time, and who knows what really goes on. But when you watch him interact with his players, he walks a very fine line of demanding but not demeaning. And you can see that he gets the best out of his players. His players play because they want to, one, be great, but they want to win for him, and he demands greatness.
And they go to the NFL, and a lot of them, not all of them, will sit for a couple of years, and they know that they could play right away at other places.
Yes, and they find earning the right to get on the field there's a lot to be said for when you actually get out there and you have to perform, that you perform at a different level because there's another 5-star guy, maybe 2 or 3 5-star guys that want my position, and if I don't go out there and perform, they're just going to give it to the next guy because that's the true meaning of a meritocracy.
And what he, I thought Harbaugh was another one that to use that word. The fact that they're so successful and he's so successful and he's likable to the players, the recruiting nets are everywhere. I mean, he got the number one kid in the state, with Damon Payne, a defensive lineman from Belleville, I believe it's.
I think so.
Yeah. He's going to Alabama.
I mean, he gets transfers from the Buckeyes.
I know. One of their leading receivers is going from Ohio State to Alabama.
I would just say with the portal, he better be careful not to use it too much, and because then he could see defections.
Right.
You know, it's a double-edged sword.
Again, but it goes back to you perform and you're the best, or we're going to recruit. It's just a different way of recruiting. Instead of recruiting a high school senior, you're recruiting somebody that has a year or two of experience, and he wants to win.
But
Those players want to win, and they need to prove it.
He has a machine going right now with recruiting by itself. So just, I think a here and there portal guy, maybe a year where they're down at quarterback too. That would be ideal. They're an absolute machine. I think about it. You brought up the kid from Belleville. Okay, so let's say he's thinking between Michigan and Alabama.
Right.
And Nick Saban goes, you know what? I got this guy named Najee Harris to come to Alabama after committed to Michigan. Do you think Najee Harris would be the 24th pick overall in the draft this year had he gone to Michigan? It's almost like he could say that as a fact.
Probably not. But Najee never really committed to Michigan. They were hoping he'd go there.
They thought they had.
Yeah, I know, but he never committed. He went to that All-Star game with 3 plane tickets. One back home to California, one to Tuscaloosa, and one to Ann Arbor. He chose. We know where he chose. Yeah.
Well, just think about Sunday Night Football. Let's meet the Falcons offense. Julio Jones, Alabama.
Right.
Calvin Ridley, Alabama. Like those are the guys when they name their school, you keep hearing schools like Alabama.
I know. Look, there's a lot of things though. You brought that up. Michigan has to change the way they run their business, and it goes above the athletic. Okay, and it's not an excuse; it is a fact. And I know for a fact there have been at least one, if not 2 kids that wanted to go there. They wanted, but because credits wouldn't transfer from the previous time, the grades were fine. If the credits didn't transfer, they went somewhere else. Now, that happens for non-athletes, too. Let's get that straight.
Right.
I mean, even my daughter, when she went from Georgia to Michigan State, had to go to schoolcraft to take some classes and then transfer from Georgia to Michigan State. And that's for non-athletes.
Yes.
All right, Heather has news coming up next.
I sure do. So Hollywood celebrities are kind of being exposed for their really cringeworthy behavior on some dating apps. You might have heard the story about Ben Affleck earlier this week. Well, now there's another celebrity that is trending, and I'll tell you who that is next.
97.1 to 10.
Hey, you guys, it's Heather Park. If you're a sports betting fan, you've got to go and check out my friends at BetRivers Sportsbook. With the baseball season underway and the pro basketball playoffs on the horizon, BetRivers Sportsbook is the place to be if you love exclusive bets and special promotions every day of the week. So right now, BetRivers is actually giving new users this really special first deposit match offer up to $250. So if you want to get in on all the action, here's what you do. You go and set up your account at BetRivers.com. Then you make your first deposit and you claim your 100% first deposit bonus using the code 250MATCH. BetRivers will then match whatever amount you deposit up to $250. It is just that simple. So whether you're live betting the action on the hardwood or you're getting a jump on some baseball futures bets, BetRivers has you covered. So go and create your account today using the code 250MATCH and stay in the game with BetRivers Sportsbook, Detroit's hometown sportsbook. Bet with a winner. Visit BetRivers.com for full terms and conditions. Must be 21, playable in Michigan. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center, roads look pretty good this morning, accident-free at this time, but traffic volumes are beginning to pick up just a little bit as you head into the usual spot through the work zone along 75 southbound near 12 Mile. Also for this weekend, 696 eastbound at Meadowville, double right lane closure is scheduled to begin at about 10:30 tonight as part of weekend construction until noon on Sunday. The Deck-Go route you can trust is 12 Mile. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
There are no sweeter sounds Hear the game. Here. All the play-by-play all season is on 97.1 The Ticket and the Odyssey app.
Growing up, you dreamt of what your perfect car might be, but you didn't dream of the difficulties in getting it. With T&I Credit Union, you can get the financing you need done with ease. And with rates as low as 1.99% and a $100 gas card at closing, you'll be driving your dream in no time. T&I Credit Union. Here when you want us to be. Call or visit TICreditUnion.org for more information. Some exclusions may apply. All loans subject to credit review and approval. Rates and offers are subject to change without notice. Actual rates may vary based on credit score. T&I Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA and an equal opportunity lender.
DTE wants you to use less energy and save more. Water heating alone consumes about 90% of the energy it takes to operate a clothes washer. So increase efficiency by washing in cold water and cleaning the filter on your dryer after each load. To get more tips, qualify for rebates, recycle appliances, or shop for discounts on energy-efficient products, go to dteenergy.com/saveenergy and see how easy it is to save. DTE. DTE Energy is here to help you save money every day. Our appliance recycling program gives you $50 to recycle an old fridge or freezer. A home energy consultation provides ways to cut usage and energy-saving products for your home, all for free. Plus, our online DTE marketplace offers discounts on energy-efficient products like thermostats, LED bulbs, and more. Go to dteenergy.com/saveenergy. DTE.
Hey, journeyman bricklayers, you're building the future, but are you securing yours? You're going to be 60 before you know it, so don't wait any longer. Start building your future by joining Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers Local 2. Join now, receive a $2,000 signing bonus, top pay, paid health insurance, plus a well-earned pension plan. We have dozens of journeyman positions to fill now. Visit bricklayers.org and click Join BAC.
Navien tankless water heaters, the proven leader in condensing technology. Request a Navien because you deserve the best in endless hot water delivery. Learn about Navien's condensing tankless water heaters and find a Navien contractor at tanklessmadesimple.com.
To all you do-it-yourselfers, get ready to welcome Frank into the fam. Because America's #1 oil filter brand now has their own new line of motor oil and fluids. And it's only at Advance and CarQuest Auto Parts. Stop into Advance and choose from 4 new Frank oil change bundles starting at just $20.99. And the oil and filters you need to keep your engine running stronger, longer. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
It's like I blinked and suddenly all my business shifted to e-commerce.
Now my business hours are whenever my customers need me.
My customers want everything now and faster than ever. It's a whole different world.
Your business is changing. The United States Postal Service is changing you. We're bringing you fast, reliable shipping nationwide. And we're bringing it when all customers need it. Let's discover new routes. Visit USPS.com/new routes. The United States Postal Service. Priority you.
Gotta finish this today.
Cristiano's construction projects typically run smoothly, but this project's pipeline is about to burst. Indeed can help him hire the people he needs. Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply. Salty. Nature Valley sweet and salty peanut bars. Bursting with crunchy peanuts, dipped in creamy nut butter coating. Delicious. Nature Valley.
The next time you're in Vegas, head to the D Lodge Vegas. It's not on the Strip. It's in downtown Vegas. The odds are better, the party's bigger, and you'll do right at home. Book your stay today at D.com. The D Lodge Vegas, your home for Detroit sports in Vegas.
Odyssey is your new home for all the audio that matters to you. Download the Odyssey app today.
Tigers lose the Red Sox 12-9 yesterday. Pistons beat the Grizzlies 111-97. Not a good win. They still have the second worst record in the NBA. Twins back in action tonight against the Blue Jackets in Columbus. Here's Heather with news.
All right, so a Novi man has been charged with stealing $300,000 in unemployment benefits by fraudulently filing claims with the names of current inmates in the state prison system. So this guy, Terrell Dwayne Mason, he used a relationship that he actually had with an employee from Michigan's unemployment agency, and he filed more than 40 fraudulent pandemic unemployment assistant claims. And they say that he would have actually been paid over $800,000 if he wouldn't have been caught. But thankfully, he was caught, and he was charged Wednesday with mail-in wire fraud, money laundering, and aggravated identity theft. And this guy has been in trouble with the law before, let's just say that. He was arrested back in 2011. He was sentenced then for organizing a scheme that provided fake IDs and fake credit cards to these people that were sent around the country to buy electronics and then to ship them back to Michigan. He's been charged or arrested at numerous other points as well over the last several years. So I'm glad this guy was busted.
Incorrigible.
Not the first time we've heard these stories,
Right.
which is so unfortunate. But yes, yeah, lock him up for sure, without a doubt. A Dearborn Heights man has been charged with his mother's murder 1 month after she actually asked the judge to release him when he had been charged with assaulting her. This is such a devastating story. So this man has been charged with first-degree murder. Just last month, he had actually been sentenced to 3 years of probation after he was charged for assaulting his mother during this domestic violence situation. Now, during this court hearing for that situation, the mom actually asked a judge that her son be released. She said that she wanted him to receive drug and mental health treatment, and she also wanted to have contact with him. Well, this guy was released. He didn't receive any treatment, and then officials kind of lost contact with him. And unfortunately, on Tuesday morning, police found that the mother was strangled to death. Which is just, it's one of those situations that could have been preventable. And it's so sad to hear this. So questions are swirling over who paid for the private jet Governor Whitmer used to visit her father in Florida back in March. Now, according to new reports, Whitmer asked a group of really wealthy Detroit businessmen who have, major dealings and major ties in Michigan to provide the plane that they share. So new details are coming forward. The Nicholson family of PVS Chemicals, the Maroon family of Central Transport, and the Cotton family, who formerly ran Meridian Health, are among those who used this Gulfstream G280, which is flown by Air Eagle. That is the plane that Whitmer allegedly flew in to Florida. And obviously now she's been very quiet about her travel, but a lot of people want to know about this private plane she used for personal use and how it was paid for, or if these people gave her the plane, what do they expect in return?
It's a bad look. It's not, she, transparency, people shouldn't be traveling to Florida. And then she goes to visit her sick father, which I can relate to. My father's sick as well in his 90s. I get, so just say, listen, here's the deal, folks. I'm going to go visit my father. This company, these 3 companies are, loaning me the plane. And that's the way it's going to, what do they think? It's not, people aren't going to find out. People find out everything. Just be honest.
And she would have received backlash if she was honest, but not probably as much as she received.
Oh, now it looks like she's trying to hide something, and now every move that these 3 companies make are going to be, especially if the state has to approve anything, it's going to look like there are kickbacks. Bad look of, I'm not talking about Tom.
I know. Sam Ellinger's younger brother, University of Texas linebacker Jake Ellinger, was found dead near campus on Thursday. There's not a whole lot of details that are being provided quite yet, but officers did find the 20-year-old after responding to a call at 12:18 p.m. There's no cause of death that has been released, but police did say that the death is not considered suspicious. So this is just devastating news, too. He walked onto the Longhorns team in 2019, but he did not play for the last.
And the destination is on your left.
It's just a 20 years old.
I mean, within a week, your family is euphoric because your other son got drafted, and now 6 days later, basically, your other son you find dead. And look, you said, no foul play. When you hear these stories, there's only one word that comes to mind, and that's suicide.
Yep. definitely. I mean, hope we'll learn more, I'm guessing, as the days go on, but that is the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear things like this, for sure. All right, so there was a woman who posted a video on TikTok of Matthew Perry flirting with her on this private FaceTime after they connected on a dating app. And it supposedly happened back in May when she was 19 and Matthew Perry was 51 years old. In this clip she posted, he kind of makes a comment about how much she's twirling her hair, she chuckles, and she wrote a caption saying, when you match with Matthew Perry as a joke on a dating app and he FaceTimes you and plays 20 questions with you. Now she's saying she posted this video because she thinks a lot of guys in Hollywood are taking advantage of young girls, and she thinks it's something that people need to be aware of. And also, just earlier this week, and maybe even into last week, there was another woman who posted a private FaceTime that she received from Ben Affleck from the same dating site, and that went viral. And she said she was kind of inspired by that. She did say that Perry never asked her anything sexual, but she said she did feel uncomfortable at times, especially because she was only 19 years old. So she posted this clip, and then she started to feel bad. She received a little backlash. People were calling her a bully. So she took down her TikTok. She did say Perry was a nice guy. But either way, he is definitely trending across social media platforms.
All right, Heather, question. I assume you were a fan of the show Friends?
I was a huge fan of Friends, yes.
Okay, that's not an option.
Hello, friends.
If you had to be with any of the three, yeah, would it be Matthew Perry? Yeah, would it be Joey? Okay.
Joey, yeah. I mean, Joey's just an all-around good guy, fun-loving guy, goofy. Yeah, I'd go for Joey, not Ross. I mean, Ross would be my first out. No.
Although Ross does have a big nose, doesn't he?
Oh, that's true. I should have analyzed their nose size first and then showed.
So it does matter.